Welcome back to New Lucid. Today we'll be taking a look at the Blue Balloon, a new long pole linear by Tecsee and TB Cat Studio. Let's take a look at the specs. Blue balloons are linears with a transparent blue top housing, white bottom housing, and white stem. They come with a heavier 63-gram extended double stage spring. The top housing is polycarb, bottom housing is nylon, and stem is POM, which is the standard JWK material mix. These are PCB mounted and do not need films. They are long poles. These are manufactured by Tecsee and are going to run for a modest 50 cents a switch from Maoki. Let's take a listen. The leaf crunch is really bad stock. It's pretty loud on the upstroke as well, which is kind of weird. Because of the pretty common material blend, we can expect a medium to high pitch, and certainly these do end up on the higher sounding end. They have a pretty loud topping out, so lubing the top housing might be worth it to get a more consolidated sound. Overall, it's kind of hard to tell the difference in sound from many of the other long pole offerings today. But when dry, these are really not the stock switch to go with if you care about sound, and do end up being a little bit plasticky sounding. There's no spring ping, but this doesn't really matter because even if it did, the leaf crunch would help cover it up. The spring doesn't feel as double stage or snappy as many of my other double stage springs. The extension is helping with this, so when shopping for long pole linears, definitely be on the lookout for extended double stage springs, as it does offer a noticeable difference in feel from regular length double stage springs. With the weight of the ones included here, the punchy initial press feeling is definitely more accentuated than usual. You might like or dislike this, depending on your preference, but I think they're nice, especially when lubed. The stock spring feel is very similar to factory lubed pink Konami Dangos in terms of the force curve, but something that differs a bit is that the bottom out of blue balloons are super sharp due to the long pole combined with this spring. When using the switch stock, this harshness is really accentuated by the sound profile. In terms of the smoothness, given that this is a completely dry switch, I think it's fine. I'm so used to switches coming to me very smooth now since many new offerings are factory lubed. When lubed, the leaf crunch completely disappears. The difference in sound just from removing the leaf crunch shows just how much the stock switch really has. The pitch also slightly deepens, of course, and gets ever so slightly deeper than lubed DDs, although lubed blue balloons also end up less plasticky than lubed DDs. And I think this is one of the strengths of the blue balloon's lubed sound profile. They have a healthy amount of loudness and harshness when lubed that doesn't also start drifting into a ton of plastickiness that factory lubed switches and JWKs sometimes have. Blue balloons also get ever so slightly more sluggish, but I think this really helps bring out the qualities of the extended spring. Of course, this all depends on your lubing technique. I'm comparing hand-lubed blue balloons to factory lubed DDs because if you add factory lube to your switch, I'm under the impression that it's good enough that you expect customers to use it stock. Otherwise, it's better to just sell a switch dry, since it would force us to clean the factory lube off for hours and redo it manually, which wouldn't be viable at all for a review. When looking at tolerances, we can see they aren't great in either direction per today's standards. I think it might actually be worth filming these switches, as there's a little bit of that housing incongruity showing up in the sound. And if I'm being honest, these are not great stock switches. While in terms of other dry stock switches, they're not the worst, I would not recommend using these stock. But when lubed, the experience completely changes. The feel becomes unique but not unfamiliar, and the sound profile transforms into what I'd call really close to the epitome of the modern long pole linear. So if you're done with the factory lubing meta and willing to put in some effort, blue balloons can deliver an excellent sound and feel.